Alright, let's get started with the deck. Obviously, we're going to run 3 GAMECIEL. GAMECIEL is going to be the strongest one of the bunch because it allows you to remove any threat for a going second deck. Tried Lava Golem, it just didn't work out so well because you had to give up your normal summon. We have 3 Parallel Exceed. This card has the unique effect that if you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone that link monster points to. And if you do, you can summon another from the deck. But if this monster, or any monster of its name, is summoned from a monster of its name, aka Parallel Exceed summons Parallel Exceed, their level, attack, and defense are halved. So they go from a level 8, 2000, 2000 to a level 4, 1000, which basically gives you the option of making an instant rank 4, which is really cool for what the deck has. So you have to run 3 because you kind of want to see one in your opening hand. Excuse me. You have 1 MARE. MARE is your main combo starter. You want to get this either in your hand or in your grave, preferably grave, as quick as possible. You're going to summon this out to your link 2. This card has the ability to summon, decrease its level by 1. It's a level 7. So you decrease its level by 1 to summon a worm token, MARE token, worm type, water, level 1, 300, 200. And it can do, I think it's the only monster in existence that can do its effect thrice, aka 3 times per turn. Hard 3 times per turn, might I add, which is so weird. But yeah, you can basically reduce it from a level 7 to a level 4, getting 3 tokens on the field, and the tokens can be used for whatever you want. Then, of course, you have Tenyi, Spirit of ASHUNA. This is basically the starter of your combos. All the Tenyis that I'll go over have the effect that if you control no effect monsters, you can special summon them from your hand once per turn. If you control a non-effect monster, you can banish them from your hand or graveyard to activate one of the following effects. Also, hard once per turn. For ASHUNA, you can special summon a Tenyi from your deck. The banish effect is you can special summon a Tenyi from your deck, but then you're locked into worm-type monsters. Obviously, you do not want to do this as a starter because this deck is all about doing invoked plays and summoning other monsters, so you want to do this as kind of like your final act, unless you have to go into it, but it is a great extender when you're done doing everything else. Then, of course, we have 3 Vishuda. Vishuda is going to be your... well, we all know what Vishuda does. You banish it to bounce a card your opponent controls. Spell, trap, monster, face up, face down, don't matter. You are bouncing the shit out of them. And that's sort of the way that sumbitch works. Of course, then, we're going to skip this one real quick. We'll come back to him. You got 3 Nahata. I run Nahata at 3 just because I like the look of the card, and I personally find its effect a little more useful. You could cut this down to 2 and put one of the next ones that I run into up to 3, or however you want to do it, but I run this at 3 for personal preference. Nahata is your battle trick. Whenever your non-effect battles, attacks or gets attacked, you can decrease the opponent's monster by 1500 attack. Doesn't do defense though, which kind of sucks. That would have been useful if it did. But you basically turn their 3000 attacking monster to 1500 or so forth. And this can allow you to get over a lot of crap. You then, of course, run 2 MAPURA. Tenyi Spirit MAPURA is basically your anti-targeting effect, hence not as useful. A lot of people run this in 1. You could go 1 or 2. I wouldn't advise 3. You want to run names. Like BA, they spam. More names you have, more combos you can do, so you want to open up with a lot. But basically, a non-effect gets target, banish it, negate, destroy. And then, of course, I run 2 SHTHANA. A lot of people run this in 3, so you could always replace Nahata for 2 and this for 3. Most of my combos end on a board with a token, so this effect does not really work so well, but the battle affix does. Basically put, if a face-up non-effect monster is destroyed by battle or effect, you can banish this card to resurrect it, and then pop a monster your opponent controls, and this pop is non-targeting. Just, goodbye, you take my place. This is great, except tokens, of course, cannot be destroyed and sent to the graveyard. And you have to be able to special summon it to get the pop. Then you run 3 Adahara. Adahara is the level 1 tuner of the deck, and it, besides the special summoning effect, has the ability to banish itself while you control a non-effect to basically recur a banished worm type. Basically take a banished worm and add it back to your hand or extra deck or wherever. And that's sort of how that concept works. And then, of course, for the last set of monsters, you run 3 A-listers. ALEISTER, of course, you know what he does. Boosts up your fusion, searches invocation. Enough said. For your spells, you're going to run 3 Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. Vessel is literally the engaged, broken level bullshit this deck has. Except Konami, unlike with Engage, actually had a brain and put a hard once per turn on this. I don't know who was jerking who off with Engage, but they forgot to put a hard once per turn on those effects for some reason. But basically put, you can send any worm from your deck. This is the main way you're going to get Mere in the grave. And then if you do, and you happen to control a face-up non-effect monster, you can add a Tenyi from your deck to your hand. So basically put, you get a non-effect monster on the field that happens to be a worm type, why not? Which most of your non-effects are, but they don't have to be. Send a worm to add a Tenyi. Oh, not broken anyway. You run, of course, 1 Terraforming, get your Meltdown. Oop, you didn't see anything. 1 Invocation, because the invoked engine is just that. It's an engine. It's not meant to be the main focus of the deck, but you know what it does. You banish ALEISTER and an attribute, go into a fusion, and then you can recycle this back to deck to add a banish ALEISTER to your hand, and the fusion aspect is not hard once per turn, but the add back to hand aspect is. Because you do a lot of shit that can be easily countered, 3 Call by the Grave, because you don't want to deal with them hand traps. Of course, Nibiru and Gamma are still a bitch in permanence, but can't be, can't stop everything. Then you have 1 Double or Nothing. Oops, one of the OTK things might have been given away. This works with Utopia Double to allow for 10,000 damage. Well, 10,000 attacking monster, usually enough for game. 2 Meltdowns, simply put, to add ALEISTER to hand. The rest of the effect, most of it, you don't really care. I mean, I guess them not being able to negate or activate is good. It's whatever. But, I mean, it's not the main aspect. This is just basically Terraforming, and this are basically ALEISTER 4, 5, and 6. And then you got 3 Evenly Match, because it is a going second deck. Yes, I may have to give up my battle phase. Okay, fine, I won't be able to OTK. I'll just set up a board that can counter your plays for next turn, and then OTK you next turn. But let me at least clear all your shit off the field. Then let's go over the side real quick, shall we? And then we'll go over the extra. Sorry, I need a drink. Side, of course, we got 3 Nibiru. Not good in the main, but certain decks have a hard time working around this. And you are going second deck, so board clearance is great. And 3,000 attack monsters, never bad on your field. Though, yes, I know what you're thinking, but then you can't summon your Tenyi because you have an effect monster on the field. You have ways to work around it. You have 1 Pancratops special summon itself relatively easily. Luckily, it has the clause that if your opponent controls more monsters, not if your opponent controls monsters and you don't. So you can have as many Tenyi plays on the field as you want, as long as your opponent controls more than what you have, you can summon him. And then, of course, the quick effect pop is always nice. But, you can always just beat it down. But do this as your last aspect so you can, finish up your Tenyi plays first. I do side in 1 MAPURA when needed, just because sometimes, on rare occasions, targeting effects can affect non-effect monsters. Not often, but occasionally it does come up. And when it does, maybe Nahada needs to go to 2 and MAPURA to 3. I still don't see SHTHANA being as useful at 3, but if you do, feel free. I run 3 Drill and Lock because, you know, hand trap. 3 Twin Twister because back row's an issue. 1 Red Reboot, same freaking reason. And if you force me to go first, this Evenlies are kind of dead. So if I can't take him out for Twin Twister, because say I'm going against a combo deck that doesn't have many spell or traps, what good's Twin Twister going to do? I mean, I could take it out for monsters, I guess. But I can also take it out for 3 Solemn Judgments, which is pretty cool if I set up a really big board that you can't break and throw in a Solemn Judgment to add it up. Adds a little extra protection. This is temporary testing. I've not gotten full testing with Solemn, but so far it seems like it's working. Pretty extra. Obviously, we got to have our 3 Monk of the Tenyi. Monk is just a non-effect thing that turns any of your non-linked Tenyis into a link monster, which is really cool because you can special summon and spam them all. You run 1 LANPHORHYNCHUS, I guess is how it's pronounced. I always call this thing LANPHORHYNCHUS for some reason. So if I screw up and call it that, just imagine I'm calling it LANPHORHYNCHUS. I'm hoping I'm still saying its name right somehow, but yeah, it's non-effect, bottom left, bottom right link. This is going to be one of your main ways to go into MECHABA as well, but you know, you need another non-effect in case monks go up, or if you need to link into something link 2-ish to continue your plays. You run 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. This is the MARE Abuser. Takes 2 worms to make, bottom left, bottom right, 1600. You can discard a card, then target a worm monster in your grave, special summon it, but for the rest of the turn you can't activate the effects of extra deck monsters except Tenyi monsters. So that, you know, MECHABA you may have on the field, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, you're not using their effects this turn. You can set them up though, but you can't use their effects this turn. But you get a free MARE to the field, or any of your Tenyis for that matter. And to boot, if a non-effect battles, gets attacked, or you attack with it, you get a free pop. It does target, but you get a once per turn free pop of any card your opponent controls. Is it just your opponent? Let me see. You can target 1 card your opponent controls, yeah. And you can use each effect once per turn. So you really only go with this if you have a way to get MARE in the grave, so you can get it on the field, because MARE can only be special summoned by a worm monster, hence Shaman. You then run 1 Berserker the Tenyi, non-effect link 3 with 3000 attack. The shittiest fucking arrows in recorded history, so be careful summoning this in the extra monster zone if you can help it. Though I guess nowadays it really doesn't frickin' matter, since everybody can link Synchro and Fusion wherever the hell they want anyway. Bad arrows really don't mean much overall, I guess, unless you go against a link deck, then they can benefit. So just be careful, but you do get a 3000 attacker. And then, of course, my favorite, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name, Tenyi Spirit of You See the Name. I call it Sarah, and that's what we're going to go with. Sarah here requires 2+ worms. Still shitty-ass arrows, I'll agree, but at least you get 2 for yourself. 3000 attack. Now, it has this awesome effect that while you control a face-up non-effect monster, including tokens, your opponent cannot target effect monsters on the field, including their own, with card effects, or attack non-effect attack effect monsters you control. They can only go after non-effect. Now, what does this mean? Say, for example, you go against a Mech Knight player, and they special summon, what is it? The purple one. I can never remember their names for the life of me. And they go to use its effect to banish itself, or a Mech Knight to do a search. Well, that effect targets. So if he's on the field, you can't. Nor can Shifty Boy move, because that effect targets. So hopefully you have fun with your Mech Knight just chilling there. And basically put, they can't do anything that involves targeting effect monsters. And luckily, your shit can't be targeted, so that means you go to activate a MECHABA's effect while non-effects on the field, they can't impermanence, Veiler you, crack down you. They can't do any of that shit because that would involve targeting you, and they can't because Sarah says you can only target this normal monster here. That's it. And if they go to attack, well, you attack a normal monster, or a non-effect, and, you know, you have things like MAPURA, NIHADA, sometimes SHTHANA, who give the big middle finger. And so that's a really cool effect, but on its own, kind of situational. But then a second effect kicks in. Once per turn is a quick effect. You could target an effect monster your opponent controls. Special summon a Tenyi Spirit token. Worm Light, level 4, 0 attack, and it'll have the 0 defense, and it'll have the same exact attack as the monster you targeted's original attack. Now, of course, you can only use this effect once per turn. But basically, you could take your opponent's big, beefy monster, summon a level 4 token with that attack, and your Tenyi monsters will protect it, and your opponent can only go after it. Holy shit! It's good. Then, of course, you have Utopia Double, which, of course, gets you to Utopia for that double OTK. But say you're going first, Utopia Double is not going to help you. If you get Parallel Exceed, what do you go into? More link plays? Well, yeah, maybe an Abyss Dweller might work. You know, graveyard effects are pretty common these days. And with SHTHANA running about, if you can make it with it, you also gain a 500 boost. Not bad. And so, you know, there's your options there. Now, for the synchro plays with MARE, because MARE is a tuner, in case you didn't know, as is ADAHARA. There are 2 level 8 synchros, which you can do with MARE. After you reduce it to a level 4, take any level 4, boom, synchro. Or ADAHARA and either ASHUNA or VASHUDA, because AHANA and VASHUDA are both, ASHUNA or VASHUDA are both level 7, while ADAHARA is a level 1 tuner. There. So, if you're going for the kill, DRACO, Berserker the Tenyi is pretty good. When he destroys a monster by battle, he gains that monster's attack. Well, effect monster by battle. He gains that monster's attack and can attack another monster again. So, kill something big, get strong, attack something small, deal damage. You know, big brain. Or small brain, big body. And then, of course, he also has the effect to kind of interrupt your opponent. If they activate a monster effect, you can banish that monster once per turn as a quick effect. And this doesn't matter where the monster activates. Hand, field, grave, up your ass, around the corner, 3 blocks down, don't matter. It'll banish the monster. Now, yeah, their effect resolves, but they're not getting that monster back unless they have a way to banish them and recover. But, say you're going first, that banish effect may be useful on occasions, but usually not. Well, what about a good Emancipator Risen Dragite? Maybe? Okay, its first effect of excavating the top 5 and bouncing back cards equal to the number of rocks revealed. Okay, that's not going to happen. But it does have a spell or trap negation effect that becomes a quick effect with the water in the grave. Just so happens MARE is water. So if you make it with MARE, you're going to have a water in the grave, which guarantees a one-time negation, which is really good to have on a big combo board. And the reason why is lightning, storm, and evenly match. If they only have one of them, you're fine. Now, if they have Dark Roller, you're kind of fucked. There's not much you can do there. But if they only have one, negate. And, you know, your board still stinks, which is kind of nice. Then you got your 3 invoked fusions. Obviously, MECHABA, you're going to go with LANPHORHYNCHUS as your main thing. You'll go into it through your plays and then banish it from the graveyard. go into MECHABA that way. You can also banish a token that Sarah summons or things from your opponent's grave. You got some other lights that you can work with too. I wouldn't advise doing ASHUNA, but in push comes to shove it, you need MECHABA. Hey, you know what he does. Negate, negate, negate. Then you got, I run one Magellanica. That's how I pronounce it. You pronounce it how you want. This one's the easiest one to go into. You banish Monk from the grave because he's Earth, and you run 3. So you don't really have a way to get him back from the graveyard, though oddly enough, Adahara can actually recycle him from the banish zone. Go figure. If you want to go that route, that is an actual fair route to go. So even more reason. And he's a non-effect, 3,000 attack. So turns your Tenyi effects on if you need them. Or make Sarah, you know, have her protective effect activate. And then, of course, you got to have your kind of killer effect, which you can use with MAPURA or SHAMAN, which are both fire. Purgatrio for that, you know, beautiful, beautiful OTK beatdown. Gonna screw you up and just slaughter you with everything. So basically put, this deck has 3 ways to OTK usually. Either Draco Berserker, Purgatrio, or Utopia double. Plus you can usually get some big boards on the field. And I'll try to show a combo video and at the end of this, and then I'll upload a duel video separate. It'll have like a couple of matches, well, probably not matches, but a couple of duels. And, you know, just let me know what y'all think. This is kind of the concept I'm going with. Yes, it can use fixes, sure. I'm on a budget. I have most of these cards in real life. I cannot afford Lightning Storm, so that's not going to happen. But if it's not too expensive, I'll see what I can do. And this is what I'm going to try to go with. So, with that said, I hope y'all are staying safe. Hopefully COVID's almost over with, and we can all get out there and have some real fun. And be careful. Tell everybody that you love them. And until next time, peace out. Rock on. Alright, so here's the one test hand showing the combo I wanted to show you. It's actually quite an easy test hand to get. You just need a way to get ALEISTER, which you run, of course, Terraforming. You run 2 Meltdowns and 3 ALEISTERs. So, I mean, 6 ALEISTERs in a 40-card deck, basically. 1 Tenyi, any Tenyi, doesn't matter. You run 16. And Vessel. That's the one. So this combo ain't always easy to pull off. You can do this another way. If you were to open up with another vessel, or not another vessel, another Tenyi, you can also do a MARE, because that's mainly what Vessel's for, is to get you the Tenyi in the vessel. So either 2 Tenyis and MARE, or just a vessel would also work. And okay, so here's the way the combo works. You're going first. We'll say your opponent doesn't have no counters, but if they had a hand trap, hey. But no NIBIRU in this scenario. Obviously, GAMECIEL's horrible for going first, so what are you going to do? Okay, you're going to activate the effect of your Tenyi. Keep in mind which Tenyis you have, because if you add the wrong ones off a vessel, it kind of sucks. I've done that a few times. So you're going to go into Monk. We'll go over there. Okay, so I already got Nahada. So, okay. We're going to activate the vessel here. We'll send MARE, and we will add to our hand. Always add ASHUNA. Well, yeah, ASHUNA. Unless you started off with ASHUNA. Then you can add anyone otherwise. This is for follow-up on another play here. Okay. So you're going to activate ASHUNA. You're going to special summon. You're going to go into Shaman. Get your ass over here. Okay. You're going to activate effect because GAMECIEL's not going to do much. You're going to bring out MARE. I swear this card is so weird. Twice per turn. Thrice? Is that how you say it? Thrice per turn? That is such a weird... First of all, that's a weird word. And second of all, Is that literally the only monster that has that clause? Where's the monster that says like 10 times per turn? I mean, come on. Then let's go ahead and activate Meltdown. Yeah, obviously add ALEISTER. Don't accidentally click don't. Okay, normal summon. Now you want to do this play specifically this way. Okay, you are going to go for Dragite. Because he's level 4, he's level 4. You can go for Dragite there. Can't activate Dragite's effect right now because it was you use Shaman's effect this turn. But on your opponent's turn, it's a quick effect because you have MARE in the grave. Then you are going to take 2 of these tokens and you're going to go into Leporticus. Right there. Then you're going to take the next token and you are going to go into Berserker. Right there. Now, oh, nope, don't do anything yet. Activate Invocation. You're going to summon MECHABA. Banish Leporticus. ALEISTER. We'll put him over here. We'll go ahead and add that back. Always useful. Going to activate ASHUNA's effect because you don't have any other plays. So going only worms for the rest of the turn, not a big deal. You already have Nahada in the grave. The way you're going to do this is it's going to be a non-effect token, normal token. So SHTHANA, not as useful. You could add Rashuda here for a next turn play, but if you really want the protection, I say go MAPURA, because MAPURA will allow at least a little targeting protection. Okay. Now you have the option. You can set Called by the Grave if you want to, but you don't have to. The goal here is the second your opponent's turn starts and they summon something, keep in mind you have a negate with MECHABA, in this hand specifically, a spell or monster negate, and you have a negate with Emancipator Risen Dragite. So that's already something. So Lightning Storm evenly matched. Okay, you got counters. Dark Ruler no more, like I said. What are you going to do? But otherwise, you've got some pretty good counters here. Okay. And the second your opponent summons a monster, you summon a token. Remember, becomes a light worm, level 4, 0 defense token with that monster's attack, which you will have a MAPURA and a Nahada in the grave to protect it, as well as if your opponent attacks, they can only attack it, and if they attack it, Shaman up here will allow you to pop a card, like the attacking monster. So you will end on a board that they can only target a token. You get a pop, battle protection, and targeting protection for the token, an Omni negate, and a spell and trap negate. All off of, what we'll say, a 2.5 card combo. I mean, I'm not going to say a 3 card because really it's any Tenyi with 16 cards in your deck. I mean, that's pretty easy to get. But, I mean, you could go 2.5 to 3 card combo. You get to end on a board like this. I'm not saying it's unbreakable, but I mean, that's a pretty good board. And, of course, if you're going second, and somehow your opponent didn't put up a good enough board and you're able to do this, you could kind of end on the same way, but instead of going for MECHABA, you could go for Magellanic by banishing Monk, and that'll give you a guaranteed 3,000 attacker, and that's all they can target. And also, when it attacks, you can use Nahada's effect to deal some real damage. And MAPURA's effect will protect it from the effect that they target with it. And instead of Risen, you could go for DRACO BERSERKER. So you would end on a 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, and a 16 with a pop. And not to mention, you can also boost that Magellanic with ALEISTER. So, yeah. Oh, And not to mention, you also could still target your opponent's monster and make a token. So there's that. Yeah, that would be OTK. So yeah. Anyway, that's the best combo this deck has to offer. But you can literally pull out OTK combos at your ass in almost any hand you get. Yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. Later.